We don't do that here.
But the queen rises to the top.
Hey, thanks for joining us for the second part of the Ultimate Fucking Casual. This one's going to pick up on some of the stuff still in the beginning of June, starting on June 7th. And apologies, I sound sick as fuck right now because I fucking am. All right, that's very casual of me to do. All right, here we go. Friday, June 7th at the Impact Arena for the first time that I've seen in ONEFC in Thailand, not at the Lumpini Stadium. Anyway, there was a lot of fights on the cards. I don't really care. I just picked out the ones that I do care about. Cade Ruotolo, he's one of those submission grappling phenoms that's crossing into MMA, and he made very short work of Blake Cooper. He looked pretty good doing it. Mikey Musumeci, he's might be one of the, I think if there's a pound for pound grapplers thing, he might be the best right now. I haven't really seen any other circuits or whatever, or promotion brackets, but Gabriel Sosa in 2021 at a professional tournament or whatever, he beat Mikey Musumeci. He submitted him, and this was Sosa's debut with ONEFC, and Musumeci got revenge. It was actually, this is the one I was talking about, where it was like, I don't know if it's maybe because I've been watching Musumeci more, and I got pulled into the storyline of this one, that I found this more entertaining. But I don't know, it felt like maybe because Islam, Dustin have the option to strike, but there's a lot of grappling, versus this one where there is no other option. Is that a reasonable take? I don't know if I'm off my rocker here.
Yeah, I think we just start to get into that area of, in mixed martial arts, there's a lot of things to focus on.
Yeah. Like
you said, and then these guys can dedicate their life to just this one thing. I think you're going to see a lot more complicated movements in these fights. Not to say I'm not an expert, but it's just what I'm seeing with my eyes. Much more complicated.
Musumeci had a shiner. He had a black eye, and he's been practicing. He's been learning Muay Thai with the next guy, Rod Tang, who's a monster kickboxer, Muay Thai fighter as well. Gets a UD over Dennis Puric. Puric, not bad. He's actually against anybody else, it would have been pretty good. Probably would have won, but Rod Tang's just way too good. Or a monster. Kind of feel bad for Puric a little bit. He got thrown in with the shark. And main event, Tawanchai Saenchai. Majority decision over Joe Natwood. These were featherweight Muay Thai. Tawanchai is a champ. Had a controversial win over Joe before. This was supposed to be, the repeater revenge. And once again, a questionable decision. Isaac, we were both watching this one. What did you make of the decision?
I at the end of the fight, I had Tawanchai up. I believe I had it 3-2. Tawanchai. I think it was a close fight, but it's one of those fights that 3-2 either way. I wouldn't say it's a robbery. I would not say it's a robbery. And more importantly, it was an absolutely outrageous fight, from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Yeah, brutal. This fight, if you want to show somebody what Muay Thai is, this fight might even be too much to show them sometimes. This was a grueling fight. Grueling fight. This is the type of fight that will 100% bring fans to watch more ONEFC fights. That's the fight you want to show them, because it's nothing but action from start to finish.
Yeah, well, while we were in the chat, I always say it. It's one of the running jokes of ONEFC and just Muay Thai and kickboxing in general is there's those types of fans who say, I would watch MMA except the grappling. I don't like the grappling. Well, here it is. This is what you want. I had Joe up, I wasn't scoring, just it was the vibes. But like you, I'm not really fussed either way, because that was incredible. I hope they do it a third time, because that definitely warrants another rematch. But there you have it.
Watch it.
I will absolutely watch that again. Moving on, Saturday, June 8th. Really quickly, PFL Europe, Savannah Marshall made her MMA debut. She wins with a stoppage in the first. As I understand it, I didn't go back to look for the footage, but Clarissa Shields was in the building, and they had a little confrontation, staged, I expect, but they had a confrontation in the ring, so they're probably going to have a rematch in PFL. So that's kind of fun.
I will be watching if that's what they schedule.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty exciting fight. Like, I mean, do you guys think we'd even see grappling? I feel like if anyone would try, it'd probably be like Shields, right?
Fields might, but I think it would just be just a boxing match in 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah,
which would be fun.
Kick.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be good to see. All right. UFC Fight Night at the KFC Yum Center. There was an exclamation point on the Yum, and I took it off because that's stupid. Just thought you all should know. All right, from the bottom up. Punahele Soriano, UD over Miguel Baeza. These were welterweights. I watched this one this morning, the whole card, so I did take notes on most of these, but stop me or, just chime in if you have anything to add.
You were going to start with the main card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I guess maybe a little quick note. Did you guys see that Charles Ratke and Carlos, I don't want to mess up his name, but Prates fight? The one where it was a brutal knee to the liver?
I did not.
That one was actually crazy. That fight, I watched it. It was, I don't know if the odds were close or not, but this dude is probably going to be an issue later on. It's definitely someone to keep an eye on. I think they said that he was on a 6 or 7 fight win streak. I recommend everyone go watch that fight. It was pretty quick, decently entertaining, and then the finish was crazy. It's one of those types of finishes that I think most fighters would say that, yeah, I'd rather get a head kick knockout.
Yeah.
Rather than taking the liver shot. It was brutal.
Some brutal things in this Soriano Baeza one. Baeza was clearly the better grappler, had a lot of near submissions, but it was weird. Just every time the way the positioning worked out, Soriano was able to just bust in Baeza's face nonstop. That he had to let go of his holds because of it. It was pretty wild. Just that dynamic was interesting. Zachary Reese stops Julian the Cuban Missile Crisis Marquez. Fantastic nickname there. It was a big kick to the body, and that Julian dropped his hands, then uppercut right up the middle, and that was it.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
It was over. It was over just as fast as it started. And then with that as well, I mean, that was the first KO we got with these new gloves? I think this was.
Islam.
I think this might have been the first.
Yeah, Islam and Poirier were the first ones to use them, if I'm not mistaken.
They had this was the first card. Everyone on the card had it. They were the first ones to show off the gold.
Oh, okay.
Ones.
Yeah, I think they changed the glove structure, even
it's for the eye pokes,
not the champion one. Yeah, they changed it. I think they weigh slightly less, and they've shifted the padding. I don't know all the specifics, but I think, and I feel like the commentary team was saying this that this was the first KO in the UFC with these new gloves, and it was pretty good KO. I mean, quite easy or quite good read.
Oh yeah. You know what? We missed it on UFC 302. We had the first eye pokes with those gloves too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
what they were
just getting bad PR. Yeah.
The idea with these gloves is that they moved all of the seams to this whole area on the part of the palm, so it would theoretically be way easier to your hand would naturally close into a fist. But what it doesn't solve are these guys that will just stick their hands out and just fingers fully splayed in their opponent's face, and that's where you get most of your eye pokes these days. So these gloves still obviously not solved everything.
I think the main event had that problem with where they paw the face. I think they do it in basketball too, to just kind of disrupt your vision. But I wanted to try to make a little joke with Zachary Reese being JFK, solving the Cuban Missile Crisis, but I wasn't sure if an assassination thing would work its way in there. We'll leave that one open. Bruno, they pronounce it with an H every time. Put an H in your name if you want it. Ferreira gets stopped. He stops Dustin Stolfitz. Fucking that up. Middleweights. This one was another quick one. Well, it was almost the entire round, but opened up. Crazy exchanges. Dustin kind of goes. I think he got wobbled a little bit, almost, and then as he took Bruno down, almost got a sub. Then Bruno, what is it? I wrote down that he was as I was watching. I wrote down Bruno is feeling the exchanges more. Like he's looking like he's getting the worst of it, and then he absolutely destroys Dustin with a spinning elbow, which sends him flying back into the cage, and then he gets up in front of his face again, and another spinning elbow right to the dome, and that was the end of it. Thanks, Bruno. I am indeed the ultimate fucking casual.
I actually like this fight. Yeah, like you said, I think Dustin Stoltz was controlling the fight, and then just those two elbows. I think the first one was like on the temple.
Yes.
I don't know what he saw, like Bruno, but you could see that he was sort of the way his body was like leaning over. He was wanting to get a spinning elbow. Like I said, I don't know what he saw, but it was the right read, I guess. The first one on the temple hurt him, and then the one on, I think it was like right below the left eye of Dustin. That was the finisher. I still don't know how he ate that. Like, he got up,
yeah,
or he just like walked around immediately after. It was
completely wobbled.
That was crazy.
I think this was a guy. Bruno was one of those Brazilians that was saying like, I'm going to go back to being the explosive type that I used to be. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Raul Rosas gets a submission in 2. Ricky Tercios. Raul came in with the little dap that they always do, and then Tercios says fuck that, and he tries to immediately goes into rage mode. Then Rosas just gets the better of him on the ground. It really was pretty rough for Tercios though. Like in the second round, it seemed like he had kind of gassed out with all the submission attempts that were just not hitting. Good stuff.
Yeah. Tercios' like approach was actually wild.
Yes.
To the fight. He immediately just like started spamming the kick button, like just straight off the opening bell, and then Raul Rosas was not gonna give Ricky his moment this fight for sure, and just he slowly whittled him away with the submission attempts, and he was finally able to get that choke.
Yeah, it was nice. He had his chin first. That looks like it would be worse having the choking arm pushing down on your jaw. I don't know if I would probably tap to that faster than being choked.
Yeah, I think that's from what I've heard. I think it's worse. Like there's a lot more pain associated. Like, either way, you just pass out. I mean, I think we saw similar submissions in the Khabib and Conor fight, and then also like in the first Grasso and Shevchenko fight.
Yeah, as
well. I think they bulldog choke, whatever it was. But man, that seems so much more painful. So much more painful.
Any kind of like neck crank, it feels like your head's gonna pop off. Is what I've heard it described as.
Yeah, it looked rough.
I've been choked before, but never cranked like that. Oh, did that sound?
It's okay, Leo. One of these days you'll get cranked good.
Oh, yeah. Pause. Wow. Go me. What can I say? I'm a popular fella. I'm leaving it in. Dominic Reyes stops Dustin Jacoby in the first. Nathan, what were we saying about this? What were you telling me about Dominic before? It was like
I was very black-pilled about Reyes. Like, he hadn't won a fight since, like, 2019. Or I don't know if it was that long, but it's been a long-ass time since he's been good.
Long skid.
Right. And this was sort of like, hey, you're about to get cut if you don't win this fight. I had no belief in him at all. And instead we got like a vintage Dominic Reyes performance. Like or that retirement rather has been given a stay of execution. Like he's still got it, it seems.
Yeah, I was like so worried coming into this fight because like Reyes, like we said, he's been on a 5-fight losing streak, but it's been 5 like bad losses. Like the Yuri Prohashka fight, terrible knockout. That was a knockout that I was actually scared, like looking at it, because the spinning elbow like went right into his temple and he just collapsed. Like I was actually really worried. And then the guy who's fighting Dustin Jacoby, like is also like known to have power. So I was concerned going to this fight. Are we gonna see his last fight in the UFC? Like, is he gonna get starched in his last fight before he gets cut? I was really worried, but like you said, we got a vintage Dominic Reyes performance. He stayed composed under the pressure and was able to land his punch, and we saw could potentially be the start of another run, maybe.
Does he seem like he has that much still? Like light heavyweight, can't recall off the top of my head how stacked it is, but
AP,
right?
Currently it's Alex Pereira, yeah.
Yeah.
And your runner-up would be Ankalaev.
I hope to see him at least maybe against one more top 5 fighter. But as long as he's like healthy, I don't want to like toss him straight into a fight where we're just gonna see him get laid out again.
Johnny Walker.
Well, I think
unironically, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one. I know we could get another classic Walker KO.
And to kind of just like here's the background. The last time we saw Reyes anywhere near this good, he was taking it to John Jones in his last fight at light heavyweight when he was at like the peak of his powers, right? And it was, I mean, that's still one of the most controversial decisions that I've seen in the UFC. Was a lot of people thought that Dominic Reyes had beaten John Jones by decision. Like that's how close that fight was. And then ever since that moment, he's just nothing but like, knockout after knockout, like just a terrible, terrible skid after that. And so just to see him just showing flashes is really exciting because this guy was really special at one point in his career.
Would you say that the John Jones decision not going his way, do you think that might have fucked with his mental to the point that a lot of those losses started happening because of that?
Maybe not immediately after the Jones fight, but he immediately went from Jones to Blachowicz and then from Blachowicz to Prohaska. And it's like he went through a murderer's row, and then I think then the damage started really accumulating, and that's what I think the real issue's been. That's why he had a 2-year layoff basically until now.
Yeah, there's been some definitely bad times for Reyes out there, but I don't know, maybe there's a universe out there where they scored it a different way in the Jones fight, and he ended up being UFC champion. Maybe. I don't know.
With John Jones, though, like, no matter where you are, in the UFC promotion, he's the home fighter for all intents and purposes. So he would get the benefit of the doubt in anything close, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had it like it was a close fight. Like, it was one of those close fights, but each round I thought was pretty, like, clear. At least from my point of view. It could have been like me just like maybe being biased just because I like Reyes and I wanted to see something new at light heavyweight. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure.
What about Anthony Smith for Dominic Reyes?
That's not a bad fight either.
I'd watch it. Yeah,
2 beatable guys. Beatable,
between
but
Walker
also challenges.
And Smith, I'd enjoy it.
You got options, Reyes. If you need representation, just give me a call, dog. I know you're listening. All right, to the main event. Nasruddin Imavov. Stoppage, ? I don't think so. I didn't know this, but Cannonier, he fights out of my hometown. I think he retired from the military at the Air Force Base there. So he's, for all intents and purposes, we're basically best friends at this point. So yeah, he's I think he got screwed here. That's not the right word. British stoppage, would that be the good way to put it? A little bit too early.
British stoppage?
Yeah, like it's too early. Like the refs are really just trigger happy with pulling the fight.
Yeah, well, this definitely. I would almost lean on he what that he was actually screwed over, because I thought that was like really, really early.
Yeah.
Was he wobbled? Yeah. Was he ready to go? Absolutely not.
I agree with Nathan here. Like, no one can argue like that he wasn't hurt. Like he was hurt
Sure.
bad by Cannonier. But I mean, he still had his hands up, and like a few seconds before the stoppage actually came in, like I don't remember if it was left or right, but he threw a shot that landed on Imavov. But at least from the camera angle we saw. So I mean, he was still game. I would have let it go maybe a little bit longer. I'm more of like, this was an early stoppage. I'm in that camp.
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote in that it looked like it was definitely on the way. Like you guys were both saying, like Cannonier was in trouble. Like he was a little shook up, but he still had his wits about him. Like immediately when the ref stepped in the way, he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" That to me is really telling. Like a lot of times, yeah, every fighter protests when the ref gets in the way, but there's sometimes when like it looks like they're completely drunk and the bartender's cutting them off. This was not that. And yeah, Imavov calls out Strickland, wants to fight him in Paris. I'm not sure that he should be doing that based on this. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think that was like the best call out for him, but I mean, what was he? Was he ranked? Was it 7th prior to this?
Yes.
He's starting to inch his way closer. Strickland seems to be on a different trajectory, like on a different, like I guess at their point of their careers, he's on like a different level at the moment. Like he's more in that title picture with these big fights. So I don't think that was the best call out. I don't know who would be a better call out for him. I don't know, maybe like fresh. I don't know all the rankings, but maybe like a Vittori.
That's exactly who I was about to say.
Yeah.
Depending on what you said.
Maybe like that.
Let's have a look. Middleweight. Imavov is at 7th. I don't think this has been updated. Yeah, it hasn't. Brendan Allen, Vettori's ahead. Robert Whittaker, talking about him in a second. And then Adesanya and Strickland.
I definitely agree with Isaac that these guys are on different trajectories. Like Strickland, I feel like he should be in line for the title shot.
For sure.
And even if they're going to do Duplessis and Adesanya first, I feel like Strickland would be okay waiting an extra 3 months to just be next in line.
Yeah, he said he's going to wait regardless, I think. So I think Strickland's out of the game, like other than for a title shot. So I'm looking at the rankings now.
Yeah.
Brendan Allen had a good last bout. Maybe him. I think maybe Allen or Vittori, maybe one of them.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure because Whittaker's already fighting.
Yeah.
Khamzat, so he's not going to be touched, and obviously Adesanya is not going to be touched either. Yeah, I think those are his only options.
Maybe Imavov could fight Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa just got a 4-1 card over Sean Strickland. I don't know if you guys knew that. Pretty good.
Winner in my eyes.
Yeah, pretty good scoring.
Yeah.
Anything more on this Fight Night card? All right, fun. Moving along really quickly on the 21st. This is a Friday. The PFL 2024 season. These are light heavyweights and lightweights. I pointed this one out. Clay Collard is Cassius Clay Collard. Fucking weirdo. Second in the rankings is fighting 10th ranked Mads Burnell. Burnell is from Denmark, but he's not in the European tournament. It's ridiculous. Impa Kasanganay is 4th versus Jacob Nadeau. He's 8th. Impa's actually decently entertaining. Patricky Pitbull is 9th, not doing so well, versus Bruno Miranda, who's 8th. Rob Wilkinson is 1st versus Josh Silveira 2nd. These are light heavies. And Brent Primus is 3rd in the bracket versus Solomon Renfro 6th. So have fun with that. Another quick-ish one. The PFL Bellator Champions Series continues at the 3 Arena in Dublin. Headlining, I'm going to go from the top down on this one, is Jason Jackson. He was the welterweight champion in Bellator versus Ramazan Kuramagomedov. Go me. Paul Hughes versus Bobby King. Lightweights. Sinead Kavanaugh versus Arlene Blanco. Feathers. This one I had to pick out because his name is Norbert Novenyi versus Dalton Rosta. This is the first time I've seen an actual human being named Norbert. It's the only reason I wanted to mention it. The rest of it, you could check the website, and you can get all those there. Last thing on the 22nd, UFC Fight Night in Riyadh. I think this is one of the last events of the Riyadh season, which is when they sports wash Saudi Arabia. Good stuff. Bottom up, Muhammad Naimov versus Melsik Bagdasaryan. Featherweights, Shara Magomedov versus Jolton Luderbach. Middleweights, Kelvin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez. Welters, Johnny fucking Blue Label Walker, 7th at light heavy versus Volkan Ozdemir, 9th. Do we need to stop?
I think we have the potential for some good fights on this card, at least like in the main card. In the prelims, it gets a little bit iffy, but
yeah,
I think the main card is decent.
At least the top 3 should be all right.
Yeah, the top 3 are all very good fights.
The Gastelum and Daniel Rodriguez fight, that has potential to be a good fight, and like these are some names that, especially Gastelum, we know have been tested and they've delivered some great fights in the past. I think if anyone would like to start watching, it'd probably be, for new people, I'd say start there. Like I won't quite say to Shara Bullet. I wouldn't start watching there, I guess, from new people, but Kelvin Gastelum is a pretty well-tested fighter, and I don't know, we'll see.
So it's like a low.
We'll see how he does. Yeah, I'd put that more on low key. A decently, like, not massive name, but he's a bit, like,
he's coming
sort of big name. Yeah, and I think that'll be a good fight. But yeah, the Johnny Walker Ozdemir fight, I think that has the potential to be a really good fight.
All right, Sergey Pavlovich, 3rd at heavyweight versus Alexander Volkov, 5th.
This fight is interesting that it's even happening because initially Pavlovich and Volkov said they wouldn't do it.
What is it, like Russian bros?
The reason, they're training partners at the same gym, and the UFC even announced this fight before either of them had received a contract.
Yeah.
And so initially they were like, fuck you, we're not doing this. But I guess they're going ahead. And then maybe they saw the payout on it, and they said, okay, well, I guess we'll beat each other up for this.
Yeah, it is in Saudi.
Yeah, I don't know if there was like some weird negotiation technique or what, but like this isn't the first time I believe the UFC's done this, where they like announce fights to pressure fighters into actually fighting. But I mean, it's probably going to be a good fight. I mean, these both Volkov, maybe on his way out the door because he's been here for a while, but these are pretty good fighters. I expect to see a decent fight at the very least. Potential for a knockout even.
I would bet a lot of money in Pavlovich knocking out Volkov, and that's because Volkov has said in sparring he gets beaten up by Pavlovich.
Oh.
So as long as he's not pulling his punches, I think Volkov's going to get steamrolled, unfortunately.
That's exactly what I was going to mention, is what are the chances? This is always my go-tos. It's a boxing reference, so those are kind of the only ones I have. But Billy Joe Saunders and Andy Lee, both Romani heritage, kind of stable mates, very good friends. They fought each other because it was Andy Lee was mandatory to Billy Joe Saunders. They were going like fucking half-assed the majority of the time. They would come in, they would slowly walk their asses to the middle of the ring, like make a big to-do of dapping each other up, and then they would kind of like spar for a little bit, and then they'd, the last 10 seconds do the same thing, like, oh yeah, great job, you got me good there, and then they just casually walk back to the corners. I expect they won't make it that obvious, but that's what I was thinking when you said that they're stable mates, they train together, probably have traveled, lived together.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. I thought the height difference would come into some factor here, but I mean, Pavlovich is just like a tank. I mean, this dude, I forget what is his nickname again. I mean, the way he steamrolls people is wild. I thought maybe the height difference would come into effect, but if you said that they're like stable mates, I mean, I'm sure Sergey has already probably seen things to get past that height difference. I think probably gonna see a KO here.
Pavlovich doesn't have a listed nickname. Volkov is Drago.
Oh, Joe.
Which is just it goes hard. It goes hard.
Yeah.
That's great.
I can't find. So we've had two opposites here where two friends fought and they fought like they hated each other, and there were two guys that fought and they basically did what the Saunders and Andy Lee fight was, where they kind of just BS the whole thing.
I refer to that as cheese dicking. It's an old military thing. I'm not sorry for bringing it up.
Oh, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna fight like they hate each other, but Pavlovich desperately needs a win here to stay atop the heavyweight ranking. So he's not gonna turn down an opportunity to score a knockout here.
If they know each other, then Volkov could just say like, "Look, man, I'm on my way out the door. We're both about to get paid pretty well. Fucking round 2 or whatever. Just hit me with something and I'm out. And we'll both bet our purses on it."
That would be interesting. I'm sure all of these. I don't know how the Russian betting would work, but the U.S. betting would at least have something to say about that. But hey, if it gets them their bag, I guess.
Yeah, as long as Vladdy Daddy gets his cut, I'm sure he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Then main event: Robert Whittaker, third versus. I am told this fellow is known as Cum Shot Shimaev, who is 10th.
Yeah, that was
Kobe.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I heard that from Chief.
Yeah, I think at least the first time I heard it was Kobe Covington. He has this like weird thing where he gives like nicknames to everyone, but they're like surprisingly like decent nicknames. I think that's where I heard it first. Decent nickname at least.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, fits in.
I'm not. If I'm not mistaken, Shimaev is moving up, right? And he's kind of new to the middleweight scene. But
yeah,
he's
this
good
is
enough.
This is his first real middleweight fight because he fought
Usman.
Yes.
Yeah, he fought Usman. He's not even a real middleweight.
Yeah.
No knees as well. Yeah.
And so this is Robert Whittaker is as far as I know, he's legit, not just because he's ranked third, but Shimaev's kind of he's jumping into the deep end here, right?
Yep. Number 10 taking on number 3. And like a pretty solidified number 3 as well.
Yeah, for sure. Strickland, Adesanya, and Duplessis with the belt.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this fight. First round, I mean, if it gets to the second round, I feel like anything goes. I guess maybe like I'd probably favor Chimaev, just because first round Chimaev is insane. Like the way he shoots his takedowns. I mean, he's like a snake. He wraps immediately. But then, I mean, we know Robert Whittaker. I don't know if wrestling is his main thing, but I know he trains it a lot, and he has been for quite a while. We could see some pretty good takedown defense as well. I'm sure that's one of the main things, but I'm just excited to just watch this fight. I'm a pull for Whittaker just because he's my guy, but if I was to guess, I'd probably say Chimaev.
Yeah, I'm still. I've seen more reasons to doubt Chimaev, like the further it's gone on, but I still feel like he's got the potential to be like a real, not just a pay-per-view star, but like an elite talent in the UFC. And I think he's going to try and show that against Whittaker. So I think I'm going to take Chimaev by submission. But
Woof.
I mean,
are we going back
obviously,
to picks?
I think Whittaker's going to be game. So
Yeah,
it should be a really exciting fight.
yeah. We absolutely could see this like last less than 2 minutes. Just like Chimaev immediately wraps up Whittaker and submits him. But I think the longer this fight goes, the better for Whittaker. And then it's gonna be 5 rounds as well. So this would be, would it be his? I guess it has the potential to go to 5 rounds. Because even in the Usman, that one was 3 rounds, right? Usman fight.
Didn't that one end quickly?
Yeah, the Usman, it was a 3-rounder.
Yeah, I think Usman went the distance. I think
It did.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think we would probably learn a lot more about Chimaev if it went the distance because his cardio is still suspect, at least for me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
You want to get a pick in? I was gonna wait until July just to get just to do it in the latter half of the year, but
I would if I if I'm gonna choose, I'd probably say Chimaev by 7 round in first round.
Wow.
That's probably what I would
First
go with.
round.
Going that specific.
Yeah. I mean, I think first round Chimaev, at least from what we've seen, he's just insane. It's literally just a matter of surviving him at the moment. And like he said, he's gonna have, or like we've been talking about, he's gonna have the chance to prove himself here.
That's all we got. That's all the it's on the schedule for this one. News. Did I miss news? Because I always do.
Not maybe news, not news perhaps, but I feel like we gotta give a shout out to the translator for ONEFC.
Oh yeah.
Last night, that's probably
the Thai translator.
Yeah, some of the better like translating in combat sports I've seen. Like he was actually like displaying emotion as well.
For sure. Rotang was really emotional. He had gotten injured. He had said he had gotten injured, and because of his age, people were starting to write him off, question if he can even ever come back. All the rest of it, the hyperbole kind of got to him, and he was a bit emotional to have all the people that were there supporting him. So he got teary-eyed and choked up a little bit, and then the translator put that into the translation. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bare Knuckle FC still going on, so that's kind of fun. I wonder how many more eyeballs have been permanently damaged.
Yeah, I think it's like, I remember when BKFC first started, it was sort of in the position that like Power Slap was in, because I mean I believe they unfortunately had a fighter that died somewhat early on, but it was getting like a lot of bad PR. But now it seems like they're turning a new tide where they have McGregor now as a partial owner of the organization. But I feel like now with Mike Perry in particular, they've been putting on some consistently good fights and just a lot of viral moments that have been coming out of BKFC. So I guess you got to say respect that they made it out of the mud, and so far Power Slap has not.
Power Slap. That one's weird. It's what's strange about it to me is you're not. I don't know. Like there's not. Is there really a skill thing? I don't know, because you just stand there taking a fully wound up palm strike, pretty damn close to a punch. And yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't either.
I do not. Like it.
That's like
KFC. At least I know it's like more brutal, but at least like it's a fair position. You know, both fighters, have the chance to win. But in Power Slap, it's just you just have to eat a shot and then give one right back and then keep repeating until someone falls.
Yep.
Power Slap is like you're just praying that you have the correct genetics and had an iron chin, because that's the only way you're going to win a Power Slap fight is if you have a really good chin.
Thick ass neck.
Yeah. Get that Isaac Cruz neck.
Man, I don't get Power Slap. For a while, like Austin Trout, when he went into BKFC, when he started, there was like, hey, I think I'm going to watch BKFC now. I love Austin Trout. And then there was that event that unfortunate woman had her, like I said, her eye it doesn't work anymore. And it was about that time. It's like, I don't think I want to watch this. I'm good.
Yeah, it's more brutal than usual.
Super
like the Luke Rockhold fight, his face got so disfigured. Like I think it was multiple teeth were out.
Was that like he fought Richards or something?
Was it Mike Perry?
No, it was something Richards. He's bald. He has like the Van Buren mustache, the twirly one. Then he fought the champ, and I don't know his name. He's a very jacked black dude. And yeah, Richards, bald guy, was just rearranging his face almost literally. And then he got caught with like a check hook, and he was out, lights out. And yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah, I mean,
missing teeth and everything.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few viral clips from it, but I mean, everything in between these viral clips and viral like knockouts it's just insane damage that they're taking.
Yeah, for not a whole lot.
Yeah.
No, Nathan, I think you're AP versus Holloway and Volk, I think that might take off at some point. Some configuration of that, yeah, some like circus fight like that's gonna happen. Like,
I'd be here for it.
yeah. I think your compensation would be a 25% off coupon to the breakfast bar at the off-strip hotel that you'll be staying at, which you have to pay for yourself.
They might just give him
Perfect.
Like,
I love
a
it.
Buffalo Wild Wings gift card or something.
Well, if there's no news, then this is the part where I cut in all of the... Hey, thanks for sticking around. If you want to get in touch, 833-589-7637. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about this particular episode, this podcast, anything on the Lux Media Network, that's the number to get in. 833-LUX-PODS. I mean, can't go wrong there. I did it that way so I wouldn't forget. So I went to check. The bare knuckle fight I was thinking of was Lorenzo Hunt versus Mike Richmond. Mike Richmond beat the Christ out of Lorenzo Hunt before, like I said, that check hook got him in the end. But still, that's neither here nor there. Social media stuff, we use one handle for everything. It's LVX Media Net. If you cannot find it, we're not on it. So you're going to see more than just MMA or boxing. You're going to see a lot of other stuff too. So keep that in mind as you head over there. And speaking of the other stuff, if you want to check it out, go to luxmediashows.com, and then you can see the catalog that we have available for you. And I think that's going to do it because, man, talking right now is just really kicking my ass. So let's get the hell out of here. Plugs. So, parting words.
Praise the Lord, McGregor and Chandler is still on.
Yes.
And so MMA fans can rest easy. Our summer isn't ruined.
For me, this has just been like a pretty good year for boxing and MMA in general. Like maybe a few hiccups, but this has been a particularly good year for boxing and MMA.
Gracious, yes.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Hopefully this trend like continues to rise and we keep seeing good fights. Because man, it's been good.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna go out with don't get cranked if I wouldn't. Don't get cranked like me.
Words to live by.
It is. Don't be like me. Don't make mistakes like me. But that's gonna do it. Oh, thank you so much for listening. We will be back when we're back.
All right. Cool beans.